friends, and welcome to the Paranatural Podcast. My name is Ben, and tonight I have a very fun little bonus episode for y'all. So, if you didn't listen to the Crescent Sanatorium episode, let me give you a little backstory here. Jacob and his brother Derek went on a ghost hunt at the Crescent Sanatorium, and this hunt was led by Dark Hollow Paranormal. And while they were there, Jacob had the presence of mind to ask the Dark Hollow Paranormal team for a brief interview. And they were gracious enough to grant that interview. So here it is. Here is the interview with the team from Dark Hollow Paranormal.
Just introduction.
All right, if we're good to go?
Yeah.
All right,
yep.
so my name's Angel Morales, and I've been doing this for 11 years. I'm part of Dark Hollow as the lead investigator. Right now we're at Crescent Sanatorium. This is actually like a second home to me, and this place is phenomenal. It's fruitful. The history is absolutely magnificent, and if you're ever searching for a paranormal experience, you can have every experience here in this little sanitarium for sure. This is Lindsay. I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself.
I'm Lindsay Rogers. I'm the founder of Dark Hollow Paranormal. I've been doing this for a little over 10 years, but I've experienced paranormal my whole life. I grew up in a haunted house. I've been to tons of places. Waverly Hills, Bobby Mackey's, traveled all over. This is the most active, Crescent's the most active place I've ever been.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is you always leave here with a story. You can never come here and not at least have one thing that you're excited to tell someone about. I mean, from all the team, we all have our experiences.
Hi, I'm Jim.
Yeah.
Been doing this for about 10 years, but I've only been with the group for about a year. It's like this is my third time here, and it's never disappointed. It's been great. Whatever's here likes me.
It absolutely does.
It's been wild every time I've been here. I mean, it's a great time.
Yeah.
I'm actually been doing this for about 2 years. I got into it because of Jim. I've only been to Crescent. There's a plug. I'm sorry. I've only been here twice at night and once during the day. But all this has always just interested me. And I did mention it earlier that my mom used to work here. She was a nurse when it was a prison. And she said one of the best things she ever said, she goes, man, when you're working that night shift and you walk across them fields and it's foggy, you don't know what's coming at you, and you just don't want to know what's coming at you at that point.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And Jim, you said it perfect too, man. It's like Crescent has a personality, and Crescent almost picks you.
It does.
It picks and
It
chooses.
chooses you.
Exactly.
And they get familiar with you too, because you'll come back and then they'll start saying your names. They start repeating you, Angel, Lindsay.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jim is building C. The past 2 times we've investigated building C, it's been definitely loving Jim lately. It's amazing too, because all of us can be together. We can be hitting on answers, but then it'll literally start canceling out one at a time, and we'll literally only answer to one. So it's almost like Crescent's alive. That's my best thing I can say. Crescent is its own animal. So yeah, I love this place.
Whether it's like as a group or individual, but like what's the most paranormal experience you've had?
Me personally, I was in End of Life, and I was on the 2nd floor, and it was the first time I ever seen I don't even know what to say, a being. It looked like a human tadpole, and it climbed on the ceiling, came around the corner, and got into my face like in a challenging manner. And for example, tonight we were hitting on things crawling on the ceiling, and she's had an experience in the chapel.
Yeah, the chapel was my most terrifying experience. We were in the chapel one night. We were having a public investigation, and someone started playing religious music, and all of a sudden I saw hands coming out from the door frame, and then I saw its head, and it started crawling out from the door frame, crawling onto the ceiling in the chapel.
That's not
and
even done yet.
I took off running. My 10 years of investigating, I bolted out of there as fast as I could. I didn't want to see the rest of it at that point. I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
I got chills just telling
That wasn't just it. It crawled.
And that I ran outside and I was like, okay, let me catch my breath, let me calm myself down. And I looked back and it crawled out the back door and onto the roof. And then there was a period of time I was with Vanessa. Vanessa was there with me that night, and she said we stood there for a while, and I can only remember, like, I blacked out. There was bits and pieces, like, I lost time. And I do remember telling her that I was so afraid. I think I was frozen with fear, because I remember telling her, I can't move. It feels like my legs are in cement. Like, I feel like I can't move. Like, it was awful.
Perfect way to say it, man. It's its own animal.
Yeah.
It has every kind of entity, being, experience. This is almost like a training center for the paranormal.
Yeah.
Like, you want to really find out who you are as an investigator, you got to come to Crescent. Absolutely.
Great way to put it. How about you guys?
The chapel did really well for us last time we were here. You two were still at the visitor center, just kind of hanging out. We had a phenomenal REM pod session back in the one office beside where the stage would be. I was back in the corner. All this was going on. I slowly made my way to that door, and for some reason something stopped me. I couldn't go any further. I stepped back. There was a bench. I sat down on the bench and was just observing. Just whatever it was. Normally I'm the first one to go in somewhere.
Right.
I like being the bait. I'll run in there. I just couldn't do it. I had to sit down. It was wild.
Yeah.
Very wild. Something was definitely I can't explain it. It was just something.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I'll explain
And it was answering like immediately everything we were doing. Place likes it. It's creepy.
Yeah, it really does. Its own personality.
And upstairs on
It draws
C
you
this
in.
morning, as soon as I was getting involved, it was telling me what room to go in.
Yeah.
Every time I asked the question, were you the first or second group? Well, up in the C.
No.
I don't remember.
First.
You were the first group.
first.
Yeah.
You were there with
Yeah.
the green lights.
Yeah.
You were there when the green light
when it
turned
shut
off.
off.
Now, in the second group, from beginning to end, mag lights were going off. 2 mag lights going off at the same time. Both REM pods were going off.
Mm-hmm.
Still getting the sounds of crawling on the ceiling. That was the thing for today. That's why when we were doing our mass vigil and Vanessa had asked, do you know Angel? Because and Lindsay, because I mean, it's just like, that's why I said this place does not forget you. It does not forget you.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
as much as you think it leaves an imprint on you, you leave an imprint on it, and you're stuck like Chuck when you're here at Crescent. So that was a really good one. That was a really good one. I can sit here and talk about it all day.
Mm-hmm.
Between saying the names, the intelligence is what's the scary thing. Vanessa was doing an Estes session here, actually in that room over there, and it mentioned my name.
And you weren't even here. You were not even on Broadway.
I was in Virginia, and it talks about something, I think not being able to enter the door.
Yeah, it was saying he's outside. He can't come in. You need to invite him in. He's out there waiting for you. Like, it was creepy. Yeah, it was. If you go onto West Virginia Paranormal, that's who we were investigating with that night, and it's on their live feed from like a year ago. She was reporting it. I mean, it was insane, but it was basically insinuating that there was some entity outside that couldn't find its way into the building. We needed to invite it in. And it said he's waiting for you by the door when you leave, and we were like, "Oh God!"
Yeah, that's kind of chilling.
Yeah.
It gives you. It's like Jim was saying. The intelligent answers. It's just whatever's here is super intelligent, and it's not even whatever's here. It's which of whatever's here, because I think there's way too many to count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's way too many to count. You can't go anywhere. I've been sitting here where these doors have closed, and you're never safe. You're never safe. The paranormal's got you wrapped around its finger when you walk into Crescent.
That's why we got the waivers, huh?
Yeah.
That's why we have waivers.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, I hear you.
That's why we have waivers.
I don't know. Some people make it to. We used to do 6 a.m. Tonight 2 a.m. Some people have left right after mass because they can't take it.
Yeah.
They'll do that first rotation, and then they want to leave.
That's
We've had
too
people
much,
pass out during the.
Yeah, there was no pun intended, nothing bad or anything. Yeah, we've had the ambulance called multiple times on multiple events because someone might be completely okay like we are right now.
Mhm.
Next thing you know, they take 2 steps and they're violently vomiting and they're blacked out. And we've had to carry them off like multiple times. There's been times where there was a woman and her sisters, they actually left early because her sisters were so concerned. She went blank. When Lindsay found her, she had her nose to a filing cabinet in a room by herself.
It reminded me of the Blair Witch Project. Like the girl was staring in a filing cabinet like this. And we were like, hey ma'am, hey, can you come with us? And she like slowly turned and looked at us with like, and it was like she looked through you.
Yeah.
Like as if you weren't there.
Absolutely.
And you were like,
I actually had to escort her out, and Lindsay had to come with me because I was almost in fear of safety because she looked violent. Her sisters were so concerned about it that I know when her sisters came back after the rotation, they left because it was out of character.
Angel would talk to her and she would like look like in his mouth and look at his face, and you didn't know what to expect from this girl. At first I thought, I think that she's on drugs, but then the more time we spent with her, I'm like, something's impacting her, because she would walk toward the visitor center and then stop and look back, and she kept acting like something was drawing her back.
She even said at one time.
She even said, I want to go back to that building. I want to go back to that building. I feel like I need to go. And we're like, yeah, I feel like you don't need to go there. You need to step away.
Or she keeps calling me.
Yeah, she keeps calling me.
That's what she said. She keeps calling me.
We were like, you need to stay away.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, we've had, like I said, every incident that you can imagine is here. So.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed everything.
That was a blast.
This is just a minute.
All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, don't forget to tell a friend about us and give us that 5-star rating and review if you can. And I hope you enjoyed hearing from the Dark Hollow Paranormal team. Want to say thank you to them again for taking time out of their day to give us that little interview. It was really cool to hear some of y'all's stories and stuff. And if you enjoyed listening to them, don't forget to check them out on YouTube. That is Dark Hollow Paranormal. Give them a subscribe, give them some thumbs ups. They did some videos on the Hinsdale house, which are pretty cool, which, we covered here on the show. So go ahead and check them out. And of course, thank you to all of you who listen. Without you guys, the show just wouldn't need to exist. So we really appreciate you listening. And with that, I will say good night.